Okay, tell me, why are you here today? Did you vote? This is an election date, so I want to make sure you go out to vote. Even the weather is doing us a favor, right? It is nice and clear here in Des Moines, Iowa. So today, let me say this to you. And the taxes is like a toy for the presidents. Whoever become the presidents, there's a new taxes coming out. And for them to manipulate it and to change it, update it, create more items, whatever they do, their goal is to stimulate the economy to have during their term to see changes that they want to see using tax as a tool to accomplish that. So today, let's just talk about whether your vote make any difference in tax world. Of course it does. Whether you vote for Biden or you vote for Trump, that give us a different tax route to go for the next 4 years. So let me just quickly summarize what they are. And today I'm just going to be talking to you, no slides, nothing. And I just have this in my head and I want to explain it to you. First of all, I want to kind of give you my understanding of what Biden's tax plan is. Okay. Disclaimer, this is my understanding. Remember, I don't even speak proper English, so never mind about reading. So I'm just going to give you my understanding, but this understanding is really coming from the universe. And it's just like my background shows, I'm still in the Halloween mood and I want to just tell you what I know. Okay, so Biden tax plan, and the key to remember Biden's tax plan is to help low-income Americans, people, and under his definition, he's talking about the household income under 400,000. So that is a lot of people. That is 85% of majority that is under that kind of annual earning. So what Biden is saying is he wants to do several things related to people under 400,000. Number one, he wants to make sure that the people who has that kind of money below that 400,000 and that they would have more tax credit. For example, he talked about child tax credit, and to make that a refundable tax credit, which means you don't have to pay any taxes and you will get the full amount. And then he also talked about child care credit and raise that from 3,000 to 8,000. And the first time home buyer up to 15,000. So he had a whole bunch of things related to if you make less than 400K and you're going to have benefit, more benefit, no changes, not going to raise your taxes. And he promised that. Over 400K, what he wants to do is he wants to raise the top tax rate from 37% to 39.6%. Remember, the Job Act in 2018 lowered individual tax rate down to 37. And I don't know whether you remember that. And back before the Job Act, the people who pays 39.6% tax rate, individual, if you make more than $121,000, then the rest of the dollar you pay 39.6. But in 2018, the Job Act lowered that amount, lowered that to 150,000. It's not even as much as 121. Lower that to make it 37%. So that is a 2.6%. Imagine if you have a big income, that 2.6 is a lot. So the Job Act actually lowered the top rate, which means Trump was there watching the interest for the wealthy. And, That's the whole agenda that Trump has. But Biden raised it back up into 39.6, just like before. So the top rate people will pay more, and under 400,000 would never get raised. That's what he promised, at least for 4 years. And then also the capital gain and the dividend in the past. And if you, the top rate was 20%, right? So Biden raised that to 39.6. So if the threshold is 1 million, if your income tax return, AGI going for $1 million, and your capital gain, not 20%, you're gonna pay normal income tax rate. So that's where this is what he proposed. And then he also limited the itemized deduction for people who has much more income, over 400,000. So this $400,000 threshold, income threshold, becoming a big deal in Biden's tax plan. And Biden also has a plan to raise the corporation tax rate from 21% to 28%. Folks, I really want to point this out to you, because if you remember, and before Job Act, before Trump's time, the corporation taxes was going from 15% to 38%. It's a graduated rate going up. So if you earn less than $50,000 net profit, you only will pay 15% of taxes. And Trump come in, the Job Act erased that all up, and they said that 21% flat. And folks, for those big corporations, they used to pay 38%. They went down to 21. And so there's a lot of money went to somebody's pocket, a lot of money. I was told as soon as that act passed, and Trump had a big celebration for the wealthy, and so they all get together knowing that they're so many times richer just by the rate dropping from 38% to 21. So Biden's plan to say that 21%, the flat rate, Biden want to raise that to 28%, but it's still not 38. So the big corporations are still having 10% of discount on taxes. But that 28, if it is a flat rate, that's so not fair for small business again, because we used to pay 15%. If your company making $50,000 in the past, and you are paying $4,500 taxes, but now you are paying more, you already, Trump time already got raised by 6%. Now it's going to add another 5%, so 11% more. So this is where the tax plan, you see, the tax plan, it doesn't matter which side of the boat you're with, and it doesn't matter. And it came up, and they're gonna make that a law, so you will be the one that paying for whatever there is. So sometimes I will say that as a tax, tax services is our community CPA's core service. And do we really have any influence to what's going on out there and with the campaign, with the election? And the fact is that my influence is just that one vote. So your influence is the same thing. And I consider that really, it doesn't matter. And what really, really matter is you understand it and you take advantage of whatever is out there. And the real vote, the most important vote you have, is to choose the right CPA firm and to use the existing law in place to give you the most benefit. So plan your taxes, and doing your taxes properly and legally and correctly, but use all the benefit that you can find on the book. So that's really what I would say in terms of this tax proposal and on Biden's tax plan. And I touched on corporation taxes. Right now, we're going on 21% flat. And for small businesses, we're paying already 6% more. And if Biden goes on 28%, then we're paying 11% more, hopefully. And there's some reconciliation would come in. And Trump, On the second term, he had several promises. I want to bring that out to you. And it's not widely known out there just because pandemic becomes such a big issue. There's really very little talk about taxes, don't you think? And we didn't really explore a lot about it. And Trump's second term's promise is number one, reduce capital gain tax rate. Remember, we are on 20%, right? And Biden wants to raise that to 39.6% for people with over $1 million income. But Trump will reduce capital gain tax rate so people who are wealthy and rich, they benefit more. So that's number one. Number two, Trump had called, if you remember, there is a payroll tax holiday for employees. They don't want to submit, they can take back their 6.2% on Social Security taxes, right? So there's so much controversial, and there's not a lot of people doing that just because, what we're gonna do. And as an employer, if the employee doesn't pay the 6.2% and or they left, before I can even collect, what do you want the employer to do? So there's not a lot of regulation out there or guidance out there to teach the payroll companies or the employers to do that. But Trump said if the employee took the payroll tax holiday, and his promise is that he will waive that, he will forgive that, so that employee would never need to pay that back. I'm almost thinking that after today, once we know who is the president, and for those ones who are say Trump become the president, I would immediately figuring out how employees don't pay the Social Security tax, because Trump said that he will forgive that. Why not? We should, as an employer, we should give that 6.2% benefit to our folks, right? So that would be something, you think, and you think what you're gonna do. And then Trump also promised to create jobs. There's not a lot of teeth to it. It is a spirit. It is a slogan that he's doing. And he also talked a lot about terminating China reliance. And so he seems to be really having this good time with using the word of China virus, China reliance, and China everything. So we will see what can he do. There's no teeth to it. It just says that wanting to bring the company back, whoever bring the company back from China to US, and there's going to be some incentives, but what is that? We don't really know. So but these are really, in the nutshell, this is what is being debated, and this is what being promised. And really, when the president goes into the White House, whether it's the second term or first term, and that will again change. So I will keep you posted, but I want to say that today is a voting day, and just for whatever you decide, and for God's sake, go vote. Okay, if you are a US citizen, you are not voting, I would say that you're really not doing your civil duties, and you're wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. So not so much, I'm not a politician. I don't really know what I say to make you go to vote. I voted. I did a long time ago. So, and I want to make sure that you do too. And this is just related to taxes. But folks, one last thing. President changes, but community CPA stayed for 20 some years already. So we have gone through so many elections, so many presidents in the past, right? So we will continue to grow for the next whoever knows years, right? Hundreds, 200 years, and becoming one of the largest CPA firm in the country. And that's my ultimate dream. And here, what I want to say to you is that the policy can change. The tax rules can be different. And what you really want to get hold of is not to figure out what kind of policy going to come in. You want to figure out that you're affiliated with a company that understands all of these rules and regulations and care about saving your money. Just like an example I was talking about on the payroll tax holiday. How many people thought of that? And, no, There is no one. I talked to many CPAs and my peers, and talking about what need to happen right after election. People are not thinking about that, and that we at Community CPA we're actively thinking about that. So you want to get hold of the best tax firm that you can get hold of. That is how you ride the wave and getting what you're supposed to get. Even if there's a good policy out there, but you don't know what that is, and you don't even know how to take advantage of, that means it doesn't even exist. And even if you vote, and but you don't ever and coming to this corner to understand what your vote impact is and what's the point, right? So you vote. Today is the voting date, but we also want you to know that you also should get hold of Community CPA and letting us work on your taxes and know what's going on. And the CARES Act, my goodness, if you don't even know what CARES Act has for you as a business owner, you're missing out so much. CARES Act is a temporary thing, okay? And it is only here for 19s and 2020s. So a lot of benefit we're talking about in CARES Act goes away. And if you don't take advantage of that and just thinking, whatever, and going back to my old CPA firm and a work bookkeeper, and they don't even know how to spell CARES Act, forget it. And you need to affiliate yourself with a winning team. And the Community CPA is the winning team. And here I am done for today, and go vote. I'm saving you 10 more minutes. So that 10 minutes from my webinar is for you to go out to vote. I was told the line is long, but the weather is good. So enjoy it and vote and be a responsible citizen and be a responsible tax filer and learn all the codes out there through your affiliated CPA firm. Talk to you. Bye-bye.